Hi there. Today I'll be talking about finances. Welcome to Pinto TV. Don't depend on the educational system to equip you with knowledge on finances because they don't provide any financial education at today's educational schools. So don't depend on formal education to teach you about finances. Teach yourself about finances. Read a book on finances and articles on it as well. Furthermore, listen to audiobooks on finances. Invest in real estate, gold, oil, and so on. And invest in resources that increase in value, that appreciate in value. Refuse to waste your money on liabilities. That's what most people do. They waste their money on liabilities such as vehicles, and they waste their money on clothes, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, instead of investing their money. That is the reason why people work until they're 70 years old, why they work for their entire lives. They don't invest. So I urge you to invest your money if you want to achieve financial freedom. Don't waste your money on things that depreciate. You know, if I give you $1 million right now, would you buy candy or a candy store? I heard that on Royce the Five Nines, the Allegory album. That's something to think about. Yeah. So don't depend on financial advisors to teach you or to invest for you, because in this capitalistic society, people are only out for themselves. So the advice they're going to give you is advice that's going to lead you to do things. The advice they're going to give you is advice that's going to lead you to do things that benefits them. That's how it works in today's capitalistic society. Banks commit a great deal of corruption, sometimes legally and other times illegally. And it's very difficult for governments to stop them because this is a capitalistic society that we live in. People are going to do what benefits them. So you need to so do not take advice from bankers because they're going to tell you to invest in faulty derivatives which benefit them. That is why they push these things to the public. So you need to educate yourself in finances. Avoid squandering your money on derivatives such as stocks, bonds, mutual funds, because those things are designed to benefit the people in power, such as the bankers, the people who work at Wall Street, so on and so forth. So that is how it is in this capitalistic society. People will tell you to invest in things that benefit them. So you need to educate yourself in finance so that you know what is right, so that you know which investments will produce money and which investments will just produce losses. I advise you to invest in real estate, gold, oil, silver, so on and so forth. Basically, invest in assets that appreciate in value and that produce cash flow every month. If something doesn't produce cash flow every month and does not appreciate in value, then it's not an asset. This is the reason why your house is not an asset. Your house is only an asset if you rent it out to someone. If you don't rent it out, then it's a liability. If you rent it out, then it's an asset. And I do not advise you to flip properties. Buying properties and selling them at a higher price is a terrible way to make money, because if if the real estate industry depreciates in value, if houses depreciate in value, then you'll make losses as someone who flips houses. So I invest you to, so I urge you to, I advise you to rent out your real estate instead of selling it. Never ever sell your real estate. Rent it out. That is how you make money in real estate. You don't ma- People who flip houses, they produce capital gains. Whereas people who rent out property, they accrue rent income. Those are the real investors, the ones who accrue rent income. You need to, you have expenses, so you need cash flow every month. And people who flip houses, they don't get cash flow every month. They get a once-off payment once they sell the property that they have bought with the intention of flipping. And they wait sometimes a few months or a few years for that property to increase in value so that they can sell it. That's not a wise thing to do, because if there's a recession and housing prices and real estate prices go down, and you flip and you are one who's flipping houses, you're going to make losses. So I urge you to rent out your property. That is how you make money. There are people out there who've made billions from real estate. Join the winning team. Real estate investors. Employees work their entire lives. Why? Because they squander their money on liabilities. They squander their money on expenses. They squander their money on trying to impress others with flashy cars, watches, so on and so forth. They buy Gucci. Gucci does not even like black people. They put black faces on their clothes, on their shirts, in order to make a derogatory statement to black people. So why would you want to even waste your money on Gucci? It's nice to have flashy things, but buy those flashy things the right way. Only buy flashy things with passive income that's been generated from your assets. And do not buy from companies that make derogatory statements about cultures and races. Do not buy from Gucci because they've made an offensive statement to black people. They put black faces on their shirts, so boycott Gucci. It's nice to have flashy things, but buy them with passive income. And wait for your assets to start producing enough passive income before you start buying things that are flashy. Because you want to ensure that you have invested enough money before you start buying flashy things such as Rolls Royces, Gucci. No, not Gucci, because as black people, we shouldn't even buy Gucci because they made a derogatory statement. So yeah, before you buy Rolexes, ensure that your finances are in order. Ensure that your finances are in order before you start splurging. So yeah, thank you for tuning in to this episode of Pinto TV, where we speak the truth in order to enlighten you. Peace.